Alright, how's it going today? Today we are going to talk about the centrifuge. So the centrifuge is a basic single block machine. It is powered off of RU from the bottom, which is why we have it in this stack here with a regular bronze boiler, regular bronze burning box, and a bronze turbine, which is enough to run the centrifuge at 16, which is what we are currently running it for our ore processing. Now on this side, we have the next tier up centrifuge, which is steel. It is running our sluice juice, which needs 64. And so for that, we're running a dense burning box, bronze, a strong steam boiler, a steel turbine, and then that would be our steel centrifuge on the very top. The centrifuge does come in 4 flavors for the single block version. There is also a multi-block version, the large centrifuge. We will get to that way later when we actually get to building that. But the recipe for it is 2 gears, a long rod, and a robust machine casing, which is double plates and long rods with a wrench in the middle. All of them are the same recipe, just with that flavor of material all the way through. There is another thing that the centrifuge is really useful for, and that is your isotopes. You can use it for like thorium, uranium. If we look up here in this box, we have some uranium ore, and if you throw that in a centrifuge, it does need to be a 1024 RU centrifuge, so do not try to run this in the basic one or the steel one. That is going to have to be minimum of titanium at its max, or tungsten steel minimum to maximum is fine. But that will actually give you a tiny bit of uranium with a 30% chance at uranium 235. That is the same for cobalt 60, plutonium, any of the things that you can get an isotope off of can be ran through there, and that'll be useful for reactors, which we will also get to way later in this. There are some other recipes that can be ran through a centrifuge, like if you have alloys that you want to unalloy. So if we look at bronze in the dust form here, we can smelt that down to a liquid, and then we can put that into a centrifuge and get 3 copper and 1 tin. Most things that have to do with metal will need to be in a liquid form, especially for the centrifuge stuff. But for some other things in like an electrolyzer, which we will talk about that later when we get to an electrolyzer. But for most of your alloys, you're going to need to use some way of getting them to a molten state, and then you can centrifuge them. And then there are other things that I will let you go through on your own, but if you're just starting out with GT6, this is going to be your basic setup. I guess we should talk about the inputs and outputs real quick. So the energy we already talked about has to go in the bottom and has to be RU. The items can be input only through the top, and that is an auto, which means it will pull them from that. That is why we have a chest sitting on top. The item output is always to the right, which is also an output, auto, so it will automatically output them to the right-hand side. Fluids also only can go into the top, and fluids will always come out the left, and both of them are also autos. So this doesn't have a whole lot of changeable sides like some machines have. This one is everything goes in the top, comes out the left or right, and power goes in the bottom. Front and back facings are used for nothing but watching it spin. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Have a good one and take it easy.